Hello everybody, my name is Guy Studios and welcome to my forest. Now, as today shown in the thumbnail and title of the video, we are looking at my finalized Spider-Man and the Sinister Six. So let's get into the video without further ado. So my idea, for Spider-Man was essentially, what if the original Ditko design mixed with the Tom Holland costume? So to match Ditko look, I just gave him squinty-ear eyes, like the Ditko version. My God, this boy looks like my nan doing taxes. And I also gave him a blue back symbol, because he did have that in the comics. Surprisingly, I know it's a weird thing. Image up here, he did have it. I also redid his wrestling outfit, except I didn't do much from the original version, except I gave him a new mask, which is a head from a motorcyclist minifigure, which I actually do have in the background. It's this one specifically. So yeah, and then other than that, what I did to it was I just painted in the eyes white and the mouth red. As you can see, nothing else has been changed, and that is it, basically. So for Miles, I entirely based every detail off of the Cat Bodega suit from Spider-Man Miles Morales. So because of that, he has the dark red hoodie with a sculpted hood. He has Adidas brand shoes, as can be seen right there by the Adidas brand on there. And please, Adidas, don't sue me. Please, I beg of you. I'll pay on royalty, I swear to God. Also, he has a painted spider symbol right on his chest, which is also, again, taken from the Cat Bodega suit. His head is the one thing I did not touch specifically for this figure. And his legs just have, like, webbing on the side, as you can see right there. I would have put them on the front, but I tried making knee pads, and that kind of failed miserably. And if I were to ever make this figure, I would give it a full suit. I actually do have the prototype for his full suit, which is just the newest Spider-Man Miles Morales figure. But, I don't know. I kind of like him with, like, just clothing. It looks cool. Mysterio, the Master of Illusion. So, small thing, before I actually get into this figure, I just wanted to say, I had an entirely different body and cape for this figure, but it looked too much like Green Goblin, who you will see very much later in the video. So, yeah. Originally, it was meant to look like the PS2 version, but then it just kind of went into looking like a jumpsuit, so here's the original body that I had for him. And yeah, keep this thing in mind when you see Green Goblin. You're gonna really see what I'm talking about later. So, yeah. So for his shoulder pads, I just got them from a character from Halo. I cut off the little bits right here so that they can attach to the arms, glued them to the arms, and then paint them chrome gold, and then same thing with his hands. Kind of same thing with his hands. And then I also got these pieces from a Halo figure, the accessories he has in his hands. The body and legs are just from the regular Spider-Man Far From Home sets. Or the first version of them, not the second version, because the first version had this green torso to it. And then also, I then painted his legs gold. I gave him chrome gold and lined it out with black, so that way you could tell which thing was which. That way it wouldn't be all weird. His other accessory is actually from the Spider-Man Monster Truck set, including the drones from the Spider-Man Monster Truck set, which I like because they make him far more menacing. Those are my gunshot sounds. And when I was first making this figure, I did base his face off of the Flatwoods monster from Fallout 76, as you can see by his eyes and picture up there. So you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, you can see where I got the inspiration from it. If I were to ever redo Mysterio, I'd make him kind of like that, but this is the best version I've made so far. I had to remake this figure twice. Sandman, always looking for his big score. Anybody remember Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man? It's a good show. So, Sandman himself was very, very simple, because all he is really is just the Poe Dameron face, the thin hair, and dark brown. The Scorpion's torso, surprisingly. And then legs from the Birdwatcher from Series 22, I believe. Yep, that's what it says in my script. But where this figure shines is in his handiness. So how I made this guy was I used a clip piece from one of Spider-Man, like the kind of things that Spider-Man uses to like attach a webbing to. Here, I'm gonna give you an image of it because the hand can't come off. It's one of these little pieces. Then I used a hollow out stud, attached a Thor's hammer piece to it, except I cut the handle down a bit so that it'd fit in there, and then I covered the entire thing in clay, and then once it all dried, I would dip it all in super glue and then would dip it in sand, which I actually just have a bag of. This is legit sand that I got from my mom's friend's wedding. And as can be seen with the figure, I clearly had a favoritism for his right side, as in I wanted to make it look like more sand was going towards the side of his body than anything. And I don't know, this is my favorite figure from this entire lot, and he was the figure that was made close to last minute. Like, legit, I made him like about I think a few weeks ago, and and he's the only figure that has no paint on it whatsoever. None of this is painted at all. I love him for it. Now you see this. This is what a big boy looks like. So my idea for this figure, and like most versions, was for it to look like a robot suit. So this thing is just like almost entirely brick built. I mean, the entire thing is brick built, like except for this piece holding it up. So yeah, I basically just took my original version of the figure, which was like, you know, big and bulky and kind of, you know, fat-ish. Not gonna fat shame the original figure, but he was kind of big. He was on the hefty side. And what I did essentially was I just rebuilt everything so all the joints are good, so like all the joints are new. And I also like made everything proportional, which I love. I love seeing the proportionalness of this figure. Still haven't, and then I just also got rid of parts that I just didn't like. And like the shoulder joints also. I like how the shoulder joints came out. I'm talking about Morbius. Okay, but seriously, for real now, it's Kraven the Hunter. It's Kraven. I wanted to make him, so for this version, I wanted my idea for him was to look very tactical. So, I just don't really like his default design. Like, you know the one I'm talking about? It's gonna be up on screen right now. This design compared to mine. I just don't like it very much. I don't like his default design. So what I did instead was I just put on like the Rock Raccoon torso from like the technically Endgame sets, but he was in the Advent calendar. That's where I got this torso, so I'm gonna say Advent calendar. And then I used the legs from the Lego Batman sets from the Batman. Yeah, that joke came back to haunt you. It's a video later and it came back to haunt you. Except this time I just added some red detailing because there's red detail on the torso. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. And then I just added that onto the legs and also the hips. So and it goes all the way around and then it comes to the back. Same with his legs. And then I just gave him regular boots. His arms are an elephant skull and a little wristwatch thingy with a symbol on there that I actually forgot to mention this in my script. That is a lion torso. That is a lion's head with mane included. You can't really see it. You can only see it when you look up at it close, but it's there. It's there. So I'm gonna just get his weapons out the way. His weapons are this machete piece, which is from a Call of Duty set. So, you know, not real Lego. But this one is made from a double bar piece, a regular bar piece, actually a hollow stud that I cut off, I think, and then the end is meant to look like a taser. Or the end is meant to look like it might like heat up or something, like a, I don't know, like fire staff, sword, spear. What am I talking about? A spear. His face and skin color in general is from McCree from the Overwatch sets, and he has a dark brown slick back hairstyle. When I looked up reference images for like different versions of him, a lot of them had him with a white eye, which I did not find a bad idea, so then I gave him a white eye. And I also added some light brown to make it look like scars. And then also, his mane, fun fact about his mane, I just googled a picture of a lion mane and then completely copied the color palette from that mane, so that's why it goes from like super, super light to like really dark and then like little white strips at the front. So yeah, that's it for Kraven. Can't wait for his movie to come out, and hopefully it's not gonna be as bad as Morbius. Maybe his actor won't be shit. So, Mr. Glenn Gorblin. This man's face was actually inspired off of a very talented artist that I do not know personally, but have begun following on Twitter. And his name is Taku, and dude, his art is really good. His Instagram will be linked in the description as well as mine, but just go check out his. It's really good. I inspired this face off of his version of Green Goblin's face. I will leave a link in the description for that. It looks really good. Okay, so I moved him off because his glider was giving me trouble. So, what I did, my idea for a suit was like the movies where basically it's a like test pilot suit for the glider. And I kind of wanted to make that, but like if Norman Osborn were to make it, or not Norman Osborn, but complicated. Anyway, so again, his face was inspired off of the Taku, who I was talking about earlier. And how I made his face was I used a Venom face and then put on the green, and then put the green on his chin and his face, painted his eyes yellow, and then added on black lines to make it look kind of like armor. And that's it for his face. Then I gave him back his little weird little cap that I love. I love his little cap. The main idea for his body was, again, the flight suit. So then I gave him his little satchel, which actually does go all the way around, by the way. And then I was also inspired off of the Green Goblin, based off the Green Goblin from TASM 2, where he has, like, the green arm and then, like, the regular kind of arm. So, like, more purple on this side, greener on this side, and then also black for the color scheme. I made his body very unsymmetrical, and I love that about this figure. So how I made this guy was I used an old Doc Ock torso piece, and then I basically based it around that. So I found some green legs, green arms, painted it to all look the same. So I used gloss black for this part, and his shoulders, and his boots, and then and then I used some gold, and then trimmed it around all the way. And this trimming actually does go all the way to the back, but you can't see it because of the connector piece. Then he has on the boots, also that goes all the way around. Same with the hip details, and then these lines go down the body. They should go at least go down the body. His face is the most modern reinterpretation of Doc Ock's face. Focus in. There we go. And I painted his neck black to kind of represent like a turtleneck or something. And then I painted his eyes with this metallic green and then lime green to make it look like they're glowing. And then I gave him a Frodo hairpiece because I thought that would work the best and looks kind of like one of his most modern haircuts to date. I got rid of the stand. It was taking too much space. So my favorite part about this figure, though, is his arms. So I used Mixelplex joints and then just attached them to this little piece right here. I don't know what it's called, but I just used that and then cut off the tip of some Mixelplex joints, cut the ends off of some studs, attach them to there, and then they actually can come off. I just don't like them to because they're very fiddly. And they're just super glued in there. And then they attach to the connector piece, which is super glued to his back, so he can't really take it off. So here, let me just blink that back on. And then his hands are the same build as the Spider-Man Monster Truck set. I should have said that I'll bring it back, but I didn't. So yeah, and they have this little green connector piece that was also in that set. So let me just show you right there. Here. That'd be more easier. Yeah, there you go. You can see it better. And I just use that exact same thing, and it's for all four arms. And that's it for the figure. And I really like it. It's one of my favorite figures that I've made. Now, have safe travels. Bye.